Hello, hello everybody, and in particular I'd like to say hello to anyone who's not seen any of my videos before, and anyone who's been following all the stuff going on with that young girl, Greta, is it Thunberg or something, the one from Sweden. Can't get away from her at the moment, she's bigger than bloody Lady Gaga, she's everywhere. Now, can you just see in the distance my old nemesis, yesterday's little white poles, well they're very big white poles, that's Crook Hill wind farm. You can't quite see because it's quite murky. I'll tell you here and now, there's 11 turbines doing nothing. We scroll around a bit, and again, I don't know how much you'll see because it's very misty. That is Scout Moor, and you can see that little protuberance is Knoll Hill. All around that, and it's actually great that you can't see them, because it gives some kind of idea of what it looks like without them. But there's basically 26 stationary industrial wind turbines, so there's 26 there. 11 at Crook Hill, that's 37. Now, one that I think you will definitely be able to see, that's Oldham down there in the distance. Let's scroll round, I'm still technically in Yorkshire. It's a weird border area. Oh me, dearie me. Now that, I believe, is just Rochdale, but I am in Saddleworth. It's one of those weird borders that's, I think it's now Greater Manchester, but it's traditionally Yorkshire, this side anyway. It's right on the county line, that one. So that basically, between me and that turbine is the county line. That's Lancashire, or Greater Manchester, and this is the West Riding of Yorkshire. You find a lot of these on county borders. It's that kind of no man's land where basically Rochdale Council don't care what people on this side think. It doesn't matter. We're not in their jurisdiction. We could complain 100 times about it, but it doesn't matter because it's Rochdale. Now, I'm going to get to the whole point of this. I'm just giving you some background at the moment. 37, 38, plus another 10, 12, 20, maybe even on the M62. So I'd say between 40 and 50 turbines are stationary, i.e. zero electricity, nothing. Now, what I want to say is I'm standing back on the kind of wider environmental debate, because I don't really think it is about the environment. I think it's about climate change, and I think that's something else. I don't know enough, but I'm quite happy to accept that pollution is a bad thing, that anything we can do to avert changing the climate is a good thing. I think that's self-evident axioms that we should clean up after ourselves and we should not be polluting the atmosphere. My point, which I want to get through to anyone who's a Greta fan, is that this is everything you stand against, and that what I want you to do is realise that these are not your friend. These are not helping. These are only everything that Greta says that she's opposed to and that we should be fighting against can be encapsulated in this, and I'll explain why. Number one, as you see, it's doing nothing. Therefore, it's not generating electricity. Therefore, right here, right now, it's not reducing carbon emissions. Now, alright, we could say they do sometimes, so it sometimes reduces carbon emissions, but if let's say someone sometimes turns up to work, and they do work when they feel like it, but you never know if they're going to come in or not, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to do any work today, but I might do tomorrow. It's unsustainable and it's unreliable. You can't rely on it, and obviously any wind power is unsustainable if it has days like this, because this is nothing. So this is not a sustainable form of energy. That's the first thing I'll say. In terms of renewable, the wind itself might be, but that white structure is kind of stuff. It's matter. It's metal. I think it's fiberglass or something. Rare earth metals used in the nacelle. It's it's basically consumer, corporate or commercial stuff. Look at where it is. Look at how inappropriate it is. I've said this on lots of my videos. The white paint is bad for the environment. It does not add anything to the function of the turbines, and it's actually bad for the environment because it stands out so much. What it does is it relegates that hill into the background. Alright, you've got the radio towers as well. I think the fact they're not white, you can see the colour difference here quite well. Plus the fact they're actually still working, they're doing something, and they don't claim to be saving the planet. We kind of accept those towers as blight. We know they're blight. No one says they're not blight. There's the pylons there. People don't recognise this as bloat, whereas they do recognise that as bloat. And of the two, I'd say the turbine looks worse. I think it has more of an impact if we sort of scroll back. There you go. See how it stands out more? It's not doing anything. It's sort of empty consumerism, capitalism, gone wrong. This is everything that eco-campaigners should be campaigning against. I don't know quite what else to add to it really, but this is an appalling turbine. Really bad. And a lot of the ones that I video seem to break down a few weeks after I videoed them, so let's wonder if we can make something go wrong with this. I want proper solutions. I want solutions that actually work. I think protecting the countryside and protecting the hills should be kind of like stage one of environmentalism. And if you miss this stage out, if you screw up stage one and you start industrialising and corporatising the kind of wilderness, then basically I'm not going to listen. I think if you get that one wrong, then everything else you say loses validity. So to me, step one is that we protect these upland landscapes. We protect them. Because don't forget, even if you only see the turbines, what's underneath them is huge, huge concrete foundations dug into the moors. There's a lovely spot up here, isn't it? Look. Oh, God. See? Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Not doing anything. Bad for the environment. Needless consumerism. So that's my message. I want to get through to people who basically like Greta and like that message. These are wolves in sheep's clothing. These are not the solution. I will support Greta all the way if she speaks out against these. But if these are part of the solution, then count me out. So right assessment of the problem. That pollution is bad. Global warming itself is a whole other thing, but it's right to call out pollution and it's right to call out eco-destruction, but this is the wrong solution. And I work in IT, and in fact I'm on my way to Manchester now to fix a computer. I've been told that, the computer doesn't work, this is a nightmare, this is an emergency. I've got to get the solution right when I get there. I can't just say, I'll get a new computer if it turns out that it's the actual network cable that's the problem. So it's all well and good recognising that it's a problem, but diagnosing the solution and the right solution and an effective, sustainable solution, that's more joined up thinking, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm not going to totally slag off Greta and the kids for being interested. It's an easy target, and it's at the end of the day she's too young, I think, for me to sort of criticise in that way. I respect the fact that she's a girl growing up in a big bad world, and I do respect that. And she's entitled to her voice. But I'm not necessarily gonna until I know what the solutions are, specifically in terms of energy generation. I reserve the right to challenge the substance of maybe some of the proposed solutions, and say they do more harm than good, and they don't even work anyway. Alright, I don't know how that talk came out, very spontaneous, just inspired by coming here and seeing all these turbines not working, and I just want that to be my message to any fans of Greta and the environmental climate change movement. These aren't going to solve the problem, they're only going to corporatise nature, add more useless junk to the world, and keep us burning coal or whatever we need to when these aren't working anyway. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. I'm off to Manchester to fix some computers. See you later.